Hello and welcome to Bold Business, the podcast for business owners who are ready to build success without burning out. I'm your host, Ros Jones, business coach, author, and proud champion of wellbeing in business. And today's episode is one that hits close to home, both for me and, I suspect, for many of you listening. It's called, Are You Too Busy to Live Your Life? Now, that might sound dramatic, but let's be honest. If you've ever found yourself eating lunch over your laptop, replying to emails in bed, or telling your partner just 5 more minutes for the third night in a row, this episode is for you. Because being too busy has become a badge of honour, I think, for many business owners. But it's a dangerous one. It's costing us our health, our relationships, and ultimately our joy. So today I want to share a story. It's a true story about one of my clients, Helen. And as you listen, I'd love you to ask yourself, where am I in this story? So I was on a Zoom call with Helen. Helen owns a graphic design business, a successful one too, like all of my business clients. She's got 7 employees, a growing client list, and plenty of work coming through the door. From the outside, she looked like the picture of success. But behind the scenes, Helen was exhausted. She was fed up with working so hard and not feeling like she was getting anything back. I've been working with her as her business coach for about 3 months. And that day she came into our call looking completely worn out. Ros, she said, I've had such a hectic week. I haven't had time to start any of those systems activities we talked about. So I asked her gently, Okay, Helen, so how many hours have you worked this week? She sighed and said, About 60. Happy with that? I asked. She laughed, a tired laugh, and said, No. She hadn't eaten a proper meal all week. She just grabbed snacks on the go. She's put on weight. She didn't even know what she's eating half the time, just whatever gives her enough energy to keep going. She hasn't exercised, and Steve, that's her husband, is mad with her. And then she just sat back in a chair, folded her arms, and just said quietly, I just can't keep going like this. Now, I already knew the answer to my next question, but I asked her anyway because I'm a coach. How many hours on your business have you worked this week, Helen? Not in it, not doing the design work, not putting out fires, but on it. The systems, the strategy, the leadership. She rubbed the new lines on her forehead and said, None. I haven't done a thing on my business. And then I let there be silence, because it's in those quiet moments that the truth really sinks in. And after a while I said, Do you remember what I told you the very first time we spoke? And she nodded slowly, and she said, Yes, you rang me to invite me to your business workshop, and I told you I didn't have time. And I smiled because I remembered that call vividly. She went on, You told me, quite bluntly, of course, that unless I made the effort to step out of my business from time to time, to learn new ways of doing things, to work on my business, then nothing would ever change. I'd never have time. She laughed softly, and I remember thinking, well, she's right. So I came to your workshop, and I got so excited. I learnt so much in those 3 hours. I could have cried because I've been running this business for 20 years and no one had ever listened to me before. No one had understood the challenges I was facing or shown me there could be a different way. She paused for a moment. Her voice was wavering slightly. Even with a team of 7, it's still quite lonely, isn't it, running a business? And I nodded because it is. It's one of the biggest truths that often goes unspoken. Success can be lonely, especially when you feel like you're holding everything together with your own 2 hands. So I asked her, Helen, what was the number one thing you took away from that workshop? And she said, there was more than one. And then she listed them. She said she'd learned that she needs to work on her business at least 1 hour every day, and she needs me to hold her accountable to that. That she needs to let go and trust her team. She said, they know how to do their jobs. I need to stop interfering and start leading. She said that she'd learned that there will never be enough hours in the day, so I have to prioritise, delegate and protect time for systems and strategy. And she said that she wants to enjoy this journey, to find joy in her business again, to have fun, to stop treating every day like another lap on the hamster wheel. Then she looked up and said something that really stuck with me. I need to slow down, she said, trust others and do exactly what I said I would. I need to change. I want to change. I don't want to find myself 10 years from now in this same position, too busy to enjoy my life. And then she smiled for the first time that day. That conversation with Helen is one I'll never forget because, truthfully, it could be any business owner. It could be you, and it could easily have been me. I've lived that story. I know exactly what it feels like to be running full speed, chasing success, and yet somehow losing yourself in the process. And here's the truth. You can't build a sustainable business from a place of exhaustion. I'll say that again. You cannot build a sustainable business from a place of exhaustion. You can't lead your team effectively if you're constantly firefighting. And you can't enjoy your life if your business runs you instead of the other way round. So if any part of Helen's story resonated with you, here are a few practical steps you can take this week to start reclaiming your time and energy. Firstly, you must schedule CEO time every day, just 1 hour on your business, strategy, systems, planning, not doing client work. And that time is sacrosanct. You guard that time as if it's a client meeting. Secondly, audit your week. Write down where your time actually goes. You'll probably be shocked by how much is spent on things that others could do just as well or even better. Thirdly, empower your team. Stop being the bottleneck. Give your team responsibility and trust them to do it. Leadership isn't about control, it's about creating space for others to thrive. Number 4, remember why you started. You built your business for freedom, flexibility, purpose, not to be a prisoner to your inbox. So reconnect with that original why you started your business. Number 5, celebrate progress, not perfection. Every small step you take to slow down, delegate, or breathe is a win. So really celebrate every single step of progress. So, my closing thoughts. Are you too busy to live your life? Only you can answer that question. But if you are, it's not a sign of failure. It's just a signal, a gentle nudge that something needs to shift. You can change the way you work. You can design a business that supports your well-being, not drains it. And if you'd like some support with that, well, that's exactly what I do. If you'd like to know more about how I can help you achieve balanced business success, then just get in touch. You can call me on 07818 646 672. It's 07818 646 672. Or you could email me at info@rosjones.co.uk. And if you're like Helen, you'd like to get to one of my workshops, check out the events page on my website, which is rosjones.co.uk. There's usually something in the pipeline coming up, so keep an eye on that and see if there's anything that takes your fancy. If you'd like to access my burnout prevention toolkit, you can go to rosjones.co.uk/burnout-prevention. So thank you so much for listening to Bold Business. If this episode resonated with you, please do share it with another business owner who needs to hear that it's okay to slow down. It really is. And until next time, stay bold, stay well, and remember, your business should work for you, not the other way around. Thanks for listening.